Okay, y'all, if y'all have been wondering what is actually going on in the Collin County real estate market right now, you are not alone. It really just depends on who you're asking, what you're reading, because you're going to be hearing two completely different stories. Some people are saying that the market is crashing, and then others are still saying that homes are flying off of the shelf. Um, and while yes, some areas are super competitive, the truth is that really it's neither one of those things. Um, what is happening is that the market is shifting right now. And if you don't understand how it's shifting, you could either leave money on the table or you could be missing an opportunity 1000%. And I'm seeing both of that happen right now. So today I am breaking down exactly what is happening in Collin County, what I'm personally seeing on the ground with my clients, and what this means for you if you're out there looking to buy or sell here in 2026. Let's start with what the data says. I think that's a good place to start because it actually tells us a pretty clear story. What we're seeing is that over the last 30 days, we have seen inventory rise across Collin County and much of DFW. It's not just a little bit like McKinney, Prosper, or Frisco. There are significantly more homes in Collin County available than we have seen in the last couple of years. So the great thing about that is that means that buyers have options again. And when buyers have options, the entire dynamic of the market changes. Which again, you can get some deals buyers if you're out there. But what I am seeing across the market is that homes are typically selling at about 93% to 98% of their list price. And that's on average. That's going to be a big shift from what we saw a couple of years ago where homes were going way over asking. And I don't know about y'all, but I am so glad that that era is gone. I will say in a couple areas like Murphy, I have been seeing more multiple offer situations come about than any of the other places here in Collin County. Days on market has stretched out too. So instead of homes selling in 4 minutes, which true story they do, we're seeing more like 40, 50, 60, 70 days on market. And guess what, sellers? That is completely normal right now. Don't worry, it's not your agent. I mean, maybe it is, but really it's just the norm for the market right now. And really the things that are affecting that are location and most significantly pricing. Median prices are down year over year around 8%. That's pretty normal for the DFW market right now as well. It doesn't mean we're crashing. It means we're stabilizing because where we were at a couple of years ago is not sustainable. So before you think that, the headlines are scary and everything like that, your home isn't suddenly worth less overnight. It just means we peaked in years ago, I think really 2021 and 2022. So if you bought in those years, you're likely selling at a little bit less than what you purchased at. And unfortunately, that's just the ebb and flow of the market here in Collin County. But let's talk about what this actually means and what this feels like in real life, because I think that's absolutely important for those of you out there looking to buy or sell, especially here in Collin County. This is the part that you're not going to get from the headlines, right? Buyers are slower. They're not having to make those decisions like that anymore. It's not because they're not serious. It's because they don't have to rush anymore. At least in most circumstances, they do not. They are taking their time. They're comparing your home versus the 3 others that are similar to it. And they're working on negotiating more. And guess what? They should be. That's the smart move right now for anybody out there looking to buy. On the flip side, sellers are having to adjust their expectations. Homes that are priced well right now are actually selling quickly. They're being marketed correctly, partly due to the price. But the ones that are overpriced, they're just sitting. Even if you're slightly off, your days on market are going to see a lot more than those that were priced right from the start. Because those of you that aren't pricing right and think that you can test the market, you are going to sit because right now the buyers have the most leverage. I am seeing a ton of price reductions. I've been telling my clients, some of them, that we need to do price reductions, and that's very common. I think that's a big thing that we're seeing right now in the market in general is buyers are here, sellers are here, and there's a gap in between, and we're trying to make them come together, and sometimes that's more difficult than not. I'm also seeing more concessions come into play. So when it comes to the buyers out there looking, just know that you are able to negotiate credits from the seller to help you buy your rate down to help cover those closing costs. That's very, very normal. But I'm also seeing more deals fall apart and go back on the market. This could be for inspection reasons. This could be for, every now and then you get a financing reason, but this is what a well-balanced market is looking at like. This isn't bad. It's just, it's different than what we've seen in the last couple of years. And personally, I'm so glad that we're getting back to this. So really what is happening is we're seeing that shift from the seller controlling everything to negotiation. So the last few years, sellers controlled everything. They set the price, they set the terms, and buyers were just having to compete to even get through the door. Let's think back to all those times that people were throwing in, week-long cruise vacations and their second-born children just to get a house. We definitely are not seeing that anymore. But now we are having conversations. Buyers are asking for closing costs again. That's extremely normal in today's market. And they're negotiating repairs. They want to be able to walk into a home that they feel comfortable with the work that has been done or needs to be done and getting that done before they actually move into the home. Buyers are walking away if something doesn't feel right. They have the option to do that now. But the important part is that it doesn't mean that sellers are losing, because they're not. It just means that strategy now means more than it has in the last few years. Those sellers that understand the shift and understand what's going on and position their home correctly from the start, these are the ones that are winning. I'm seeing this across the board with my sellers is the ones that listen and we look at the data together, and they don't try to get every little dime out of the market that they can. They're getting the showings, we're getting the feedback, and we are getting serious buyers walk through the door. So what does this mean? What happens next when we're here in this market? Really looking into Q2, April, May, June, this is where things get interesting. Right now here in Collin County, we're expecting this market to stay pretty balanced, even though this is the quarter that a lot of things start moving, and we see a lot more homes on the market. We're going to see that inventory rise. We're going to see more buyers come to market. But that's really what's going to keep that pressure on pricing is the amount of inventory coming to the market within the next 3 months. With interest rates hovering somewhere between that 6 and 6.5% range, even if they dip a little bit, that's going to bring even more buyers back to the market in what is already typically our hot time of the year. And really what I think a lot of people are missing is that the demand is still there. Collin County isn't slowing down by any means long term. There's job growth. There's people moving here every single day. There's still all of those strong fundamentals that you like to see in these areas. So I really don't think we're going to see a crash at all. I really think that what we are seeing is a cooling, and I think that's what we are going to continue to see, but more so a steady, healthy market rather than one that's not obtainable anymore. So I think that homes that are priced right from the get-go, they are going to sell. If you can put on a good presentation, a clean home, one that doesn't make buyers worry about what needs to be done, those are the homes that are going to sell. And then the homes that don't present well, and especially if they aren't priced right, they are going to sit and they are going to chase the market down. So what does this mean for buyers looking here in Collin County? If you are a buyer in today's market, I do believe that you are in a very strong position. You have options, you have negotiating power. You don't have to compete against 15 offers the majority of the time anymore. The great thing is you can negotiate those repairs too. So you're not walking into a home that you're going to have to put a whole bunch of work into. And the great thing is you don't have to make a decision in 5 minutes. You can take time to think it through and make sure that it's really the best decision for you and your family. But again, caveat, the catch is that homes are still moving. So you can't take forever to think about it. You do need to, sit on it for a day or two and then make your decision. Not weeks by any means. It's really about being strategic and being ready when the right one shows up. And there's many ways that we can do this, but it all starts with getting prepped from the beginning and making sure that those expectations are set before you ever get to start looking at homes. If you're a seller, here's what this means for you. And really this is where I need you to lean in just a little bit because this market is still has the ability to reward you, but it can definitely punish you based on how you enter it, right? You cannot price based on what your neighbor sold, 6 months ago, a year ago, and you can't test the market anymore. You can wait for that needle in a haystack, but that is not to your benefit. And what I see is that more sellers end up having to price reduce to a price lower than what they actually would have done had they just started out with the correct price from the beginning. I know that most of you can't afford to sit for 30 days, 60 days without adjusting. Though that first, 7 to 14, right now, maybe 21 days on market is going to be everything to you. That's when you get the most attention on your home. And that's a lot of the times that the buyers are watching to see what is happening, and if they can get in there and if it makes sense to go for that home versus another one. So if you miss that window, you are now playing catch up. But if you come in well priced, well staged, you're marketed aggressively, which is absolutely what we do here at the Money Group, you can still come out exactly where you want to be or maybe a little ahead. So all in all, if I had to sum up the Collin County market, just know it's not crashing right now. It's not hot like it used to be in 2021 and 2022. Again, we are normalizing and that is okay. I think that this is really where a lot of smart decisions can be made on both sides, whether you're buying or selling. This is where you can create the best outcomes if you're willing to look at the data and you're willing to pay attention to what's really happening. So I think there's a lot of opportunity still for everyone out there, no matter which side of the coin you're on. But really, if you're thinking about buying or selling, or if you're really just even trying to just figure out what you want to do and what your next move is going to be, this is where having a strategy actually comes into play. I think this is a great time to start looking at what are your options if you're a buyer, and where you're sitting at if you're a seller in today's market and looking to make a move. When maybe you're looking to upgrade or downgrade, maybe you're just trying to get out in general. But if you want to know what that looks like for you and for your situation specifically, I'm always here to talk you through that. Definitely no pressure. I think you have to make the best decision for you, and I am just here to help lay out all the data and help you make the decision that works for you and your family, especially if the timing is right. And absolutely happy to help, but just don't listen to the headlines because it's not true at all. See you later.